Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. I love saying that. Today we are going to be doing the Boujee book tag. I was tagged, actually, first time I've ever been tagged in a tag video. Usually I just do tag videos off the whim because they look fun. Side note, it's really hot in the UK right now, so all my windows are open, so any side background noise you hear, I'm sorry, but I can't deal with filming with my windows shut. That's not an option. But yeah, I was tagged by the lovely India over at What India Read, so I'll link her down below and I'll tag a few people at the end to do this video as well. But yeah, this is the Boujee book tag. I think it's all about reading and spending habits on books, so let's just reveal all my deep dark secrets about book buying, because I tend to buy a lot of books, especially this year. For some reason, I've just exceeded all my book buying levels of normalcy. I've just gone all out and just spent so much money on books this year, quite shamefully, but it's done. I can't change it. So let's just delve into all my book buying habits and just see what comes out, basically. So I'm just going to answer, I think there's about 10 questions, so let's just roll with the first one. They're on my phone. The first question is, what is your average monthly budget for books? Now, this really depends. This really depends on what my disposable income is per month. It tends to vary a little bit here and there. But with the pandemic going on, I haven't been traveling or doing as many social events, so my reading budget has increased, but that's all like relevant to the time period I guess we're in. But because I'm staying at home more, I'm reading more, I'm getting through my TBR more, etc. So I'm running out of books to read, so therefore I'm buying more books. So at the minute I'm spending about £50 a month on books, which is not too horrendous. It buys me about 6 books a month, and you see most of my book buying because I have a whole series called Come Book Shopping With Me on this channel, where I just basically buy books in front of the camera, and that tends to be when I buy most of my books. It's rare that I'll buy books outside of that video. So I tend to get about 5 or 6 books a month, and it tends to be about 30 to 50 quid a month on books, which I don't think is too bad. I could be spending my money on a lot worse things, so I kind of think it as a good thing. The next question is, what's the most you spent ever at a bookstore? I think my worst has been about 30 quid. I don't tend to buy a lot of books physically at a bookstore just because I know the prices are a little bit more expensive, and for my lifestyle personally, I will look for the best deal on books. So it tends to be online where I buy, so I don't tend to buy a lot in bookstores, but I think I do a lot of like the buy one get one half price, and I think I've come out of about 4 books once, which tends to be about 25 to 30 quid on books in a bookstore, but that's not very often I do that. I'm talking a lot, it's hot, so I've got water with me. The next question, we're just going to keep firing these away. Are you willing to pay full price for a brand new release, or will you wait until you have a coupon or there's a sale? If it's a book that I've really been anticipating, then yes, I will buy it outright / pre-order it at the full price. Obviously it helps support my favourite authors, so that's a great thing to do anyway. And when I have a bit more disposable income, which I do at the minute, it tends to be, I justify it because I'm supporting one of my favourite authors and their jobs and their careers and the book industry, so I don't mind doing that. But a lot of the times I do look for the best deals on books, which tends to be online. So yeah, it just really depends on the book, but I am willing to pay full price for books, especially hardback, if it's a book that I've really been anticipating. Would you rather buy one new book or several less expensive used copies? Now, I think this is where I really downfall and downgrade myself, is I don't like used books. I love buying books that are brand new, that are for me, that I can do what I want with. I love the smell of new books. I feel like the texture of used books is different and I don't like it. So it's rare that I'll buy used books, which is really bad, I know, but it's something I need to overcome by myself, and I think I will eventually get there, especially when I grow up and I have a family and there's more outgoings and stuff for the month and I can't afford all these brand new books. But for the time being, when I can afford brand new books, it's just the way I like doing things. So although I have brought used books and I have a couple on my bookshelf from friends, I don't tend to go to the charity shop and buy used books just because I don't know where they've been. And yeah, I'm not that comfortable with reading other people's books. So I do 99.9% of the time read brand new books that I bought myself. Question number 5 is, what do you think is a reasonable price for a new hardback, a paperback and an ebook? In the UK, a typical price for a hardback tends to be about £12.99 to £16.99. It's rare that it's ever over 20 quid, but sometimes you can get those for like special editions and stuff. For a paperback, I would be willing to pay like £6.99 to £9.99 for a paperback, depending on the book itself and the author. And then an ebook, they can get expensive, and I don't understand why, because you're not printing it physically, so I don't understand why ebooks can be so expensive, but they can be pretty much the price of a paperback, which shocks me. But I'm actually only willing to spend, I don't think I've ever spent more than like £3.99 on an ebook, and that's if I physically can't get a copy of it, or I've been really eager to read a book, or it's like a sequel in the book and at that minute in time I want to read that sequel and I can't get out to buy the physical. I will go on my phone and buy an ebook if it's reasonably priced. I will not pay the price of a physical book as an ebook form. It's not my preferred way to read, so I don't justify me spending the same amount on a physical book than an ebook. So I'll always get ebooks cheaper. And then question number 6 is a signed book worth more to you? How about a first edition? And yes, they do mean more to me, just because, I don't know, I just love getting signed books from my favourite authors. I have a couple, but I've never paid more for a signed book. But I would willingly pay more for a signed book, although I never have, just because it's always just been like a little sticker being like signed by the author. Or I've got them physically signed myself when I've gone to like a book signing or something. So I've never paid more for a signed, but I would, in the future, if a book was signed and it was like £5 more expensive, I would, just thought about it. I think Nick and Charlie by Alice Oseman, there was 2 editions, a signed copy and a non-signed. And I think the non-signed was like £5.99 and the signed was £7.99 or something. And I paid for the signed one. So yes, I would obviously pay more for a signed if it is for an author that I really enjoy and love. So yeah, and a first edition, I would hands down pay so much more money for a first edition if it's like a book that I absolutely adore. I'm not that fussed on first editions. It's cool if I just randomly get one, which I have. I've got War Horse by Michael Morpurgo, randomly first edition. But if, for example, my parents were in like this really old English town and they called me being like, oh my god, there's a first edition of Winnie the Pooh, do you want to splash the cash on it? I would hands down be like, yes, just because Winnie the Pooh means so much to me. I would absolutely love having a first edition of that book, but it's not my like first priority kind of thing. But if for some random reason there's a Winnie the Pooh first edition somewhere out there in the world and I had the chance to buy it, I would, without any hesitation, buy that book. Question number 7 is, what is your most valuable book, sentimental or actual value? I'm not sure about actual value. I don't own that very many expensive books. I'll get it. Moving Winnie the Pooh to get this one. I've spoken about this book fairly recently on my channel. This is a Folio Society edition of Winnie the Pooh. Folio Society, I think, is UK based, and it is quite a fancy online bookstore where they do really cool editions of different variety of books, mostly old classics. And my boyfriend got me this one, and it just means a lot to me because, like I just said, Winnie the Pooh means the world to me, and the edition is stunning, and it was quite pricey to begin with. So that's kind of sentimental and actual value wise. Another sentimental, one second, I'll go get it. I don't know if I'm sitting in the same place, but another sentimental one is my signed edition of Tom Hanks's book. It wasn't the best book. It's a compilation of short stories where they all kind of focus around a typewriter in some aspect. But it's signed, and when I brought this book, I actually had a chance when pre-ordering it. I was put into a competition to meet him. So of course I was going to buy it because Tom Hanks is like my favourite person in this world. Definitely favourite actor, maybe not favourite author, but I absolutely adore him. So I didn't win the competition, but I still did get a signed copy of the book. Don't know if you can see that, but it means a lot to me that I have Tom Hanks's signature because he's amazing. Look at him. So yeah, I think those 2 are definitely one of my highly sentimental valued books on my bookshelves. Question number 8 is, will you pay more for a cover or edition you like better? No, unless it's a movie cover. So if a book's been changed into a movie and they've re-released a movie cover and the movie cover's cheaper, I won't pay for the movie cover, I'll pay for the normal cover. Just because most of the time the books are better than the movies, so why would I want the book having the movie cover when the book is better? Other than that, it's what's inside the book that matters, so the book cover doesn't really make a difference to me if it's related to price. If it's just this, if there's 2 covers, one's prettier and they're both the same price, I'll go for the prettier cover, of course. But if price is involved, I'll go for the cheaper option. Question number 9 is, what physical characteristics does a good quality book have? Wowza, that was a lot. Definitely foiled detailing. I'll just get this one because it's 2-hand. Foil detailing just makes a book absolutely stunning. I think India also mentioned that. And covers on details on a hardback, so underneath the dust jacket. I don't think I have any examples close by. Yes, I do. I know it's another Winnie the Pooh one, but we're on a Winnie the Pooh roll today. Details, another gold details on the actual hardback just makes books so much more. What's the question? Good quality. It just shows that it's been printed to a higher standard, as well as matte covers. I know that sounds really weird, but glossy covers to me, I can see. I'll go get it. Okay, so I've got an example. So I think glossy covers like this look cheaper than matte gloss covers like this. Just personal preference, I think these just look cheaper for some reason. I don't know why, but they do. And then I prefer like a matte kind of book. Not a complete matte, like a matte lamb book. So it's like kind of shiny, but not like a full-on shine, if that makes sense. I don't know if it does, but those are the characteristics for me that make a book higher quality. And then, there's 2 more questions as a bonus one I didn't know about. Question 10 is, if you won a lottery, what bookish things would you do with the money? I would 100%, of course. I think like most book people out there, I would create my ultimate dream library. I just want a space where it's my own little room, where I have my desk and my computer and my corkboard and like just bookshelves galore and a nice big armchair and a cozy blanket, fairy lights. You know the Pinterest aesthetic if you type in library. That sort of style library, I think it's everyone's dream library. Just so you can shut the door, curl up with a good book and absorb yourself into a brand new world. I would love that. At the minute, my biggest pet peeve about my room is there's not enough bookshelf space, and my boyfriend has recently just built me a bookcase and that's already getting full, and I'm just like, I need more bookshelf space. So if I could have unlimited amount of bookshelf space in my dream library, that would be amazing. But also, actually, I know this is very niche to where I live, but I don't think my library is personally very good for young adult readers. I don't think there's a lot of options out there, and if there are good options, they tend to be quite outdated, like old books. So I would love to donate a lot of books or money to that library to get their shelf like more diverse in their YA especially genre. I think that would be really, really fun. And maybe I would spend some money on like a book retreat, like rent out a like cabin in the woods. I know my boyfriend would love this. He loves the outdoors and the wilderness. So he could, like, we could go on walks together, but in the evenings we could curl up, make a fire, eat some s'mores, just curl up with a blanket, read good books, and just like have a massive social media detox weekend and just rent a cabin and just read a load of books. I guess that's kind of book related, but I think that would be really, really fun. And then the bonus question is, give us an image, actual or mental, of your dream home library. And obviously I've kind of already stated it, but I just something really cozy. I'll put some pictures up on the screen here. Something really cozy with big armchair. I would actually really, really like a daybed kind of a situation. I'll give some examples so you can kind of visualize it with me. Like a really nice reading nook that was kind of like a bench, but kind of in like a corner of a room with books all around. Yeah, it just makes me happy thinking that maybe one day that will actually become true rather than just a daydream. I need to work my butt off before I can achieve that, that's for sure. And I think that's it. Yeah, those are all the questions. Thank you so much, India, for tagging me in this video. I had so much fun filming it. It was really fun to just kind of like talk about book habits and stuff. I just love a good tag video, to be fair. So yeah, so much fun filming this video. Who am I gonna tag? I'm gonna tag Darian from Darian Reads, Eleni from Books with Eleni, and who else am I gonna tag? Let's tag Jess from Books with Bedtime, because I absolutely adore her channel. So you guys, you are tagged. I'll link all their channels down below for you guys. But if you're watching this video and you want to do this, then I tag you, and please make sure to like tweet me that video or like comment saying that you've done it and I can go check it out, because I would love to hear your answers. It was such a fun video to do. So with that being said, I will leave you guys to it. If you liked what you saw and liked what you heard, please give this video a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.